I'm not afraid to admit that one of the main reasons I started working out is to become more attractive to women. I thought looking like this and this would be better than this and this. So in this video, we're going to go into the 8 tips to help you become more attractive to women without being a dick. Let's get into it. Have you seen the class clown that everyone finds funny? He's the wittiest, funniest guy, cracking all the jokes. All the girls are laughing at him in the club or in the classroom, but he's that guy. He's just that funny guy. You don't want to be that guy. Women don't need to find you funny to like you, even though humor is a very good trait to have. The most important thing that women need in order to actually be attracted to you as a man is they need to have some level of respect for you, whether it's in your authority, whether it's in your conviction, whether it's in your knowledge and intelligence. They like men that they can respect. So how do you become a guy that gets respect? You got to respect yourself. What does that mean? You need to work on yourself, because you yourself only respect things that are the result of hard work. Would you respect this tablecloth that I got? Not really, it's just a tablecloth. But you might respect the fact that I managed to change my physique from this to this. The fact that I overcame social stigma of quitting what I was doing at 29 years of age and going into the Korean military and radically changing my life. The fact that I started jiu-jitsu late and I'm going every day, even though it's difficult to stay consistent. Whatever it is, you need to do these little things for yourself. Working out in the gym, trying to build your own business, learning how to draw and climb. Do these little things where you start to go, okay, that was quite hard and I'm doing it. Start respecting yourself. Then what happens? Other people start to respect you as well. Respect to yourself builds over time, but as you do that, women will start to respect you more. But let's get on to the next point. Become strong and protective of them, but not in a douchey way where some guys like trying to talk to you and you're like, hey, what the That's not what I'm talking about. But let's say like there's some road work going on as you're walking down the street, and because of something that might happen as a result of the road work and like splintering everywhere, you kind of like maneuver her to a safer side of the road. Or just the way you touch her, the way you like go into a venue first so that you can kind of lead her in. Just these little things where she feels protected in your presence is such a massive thing, and not enough guys be taking advantage of it, or they do it in this overly cringy, douchey way. You gotta be subtle about it. Everything and anything you do that I talk about in this video, the more subtle and understated it is, it like doubles in effectiveness. So how do you actually become protective of them? You gotta become stronger. Become stronger in your body, because that's what's going to make you stronger in your mind. Train martial arts so that you can actually protect them if something arises. Even if you get beat up, you're going to have the confidence before the fight that you stand a chance. And that's oftentimes all you need, a genuine belief that you stand a chance. And you actually get that by training martial arts, training combat sports like boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling. Take those up. It's going to make a difference in the way that you stand, in the way that you move, in the way that you hold eye contact. And these things, these little details make a big difference. Next point. The world is a rainstorm. Shit's happening. There's all kinds of chaos. People shouting and crying. I don't know what I should do with my life. University professor telling me to do this assignment. Then my mom's telling me. Nobody knows what's right and what's wrong. But when she sees you, it's like that tree trunk in the middle of a field that just sits there, doesn't sway. It's just rock solid. It's grounded. It's rooted. And when she's with you, she feels at peace. She feels she can trust your core. How do you develop this? How do you become a fat ass tree trunk? Of course, build your ass muscles, build your abs, but you gotta, again, go through difficult stuff. You might want to take up things like meditation. You might want to go through some heartbreak, some rejections, just some difficult situations. And you start to learn that you have to take care of your emotions. Mommy and daddy won't come to save you, that you're gonna have to get over this shit on your own, that the pain is yours. And over these experiences, you're starting to thicken out that layer. Maybe you take some rejections. Maybe you fail a couple times in your business. All of these things where you have to overcome these setbacks is what's going to make you go, oh, I've been through shit like this before. That's all good. You've been in some fights. You've been choked out a bit before. Okay, a little scuffle. Okay, I've been in this before. That's how you become that grounded essence and not reacting to every other thing. Next point. Most guys will have experienced some level of testing from a girl, whether it's in the club, you roll up, you approach her, you're like, hey, I thought you were cute, let's have a chat or whatever. And she might just like look at you in the eye and like, you? Like, what is this? Why are you talking to me? Sometimes this means go away. Maybe she's going through a really difficult time or something. But most of the time, she's just testing you to see if you're down for it. If you're like gonna be like all freaked out and start speaking more to like make sure she likes you. Or if you're a guy that's, like we said, kind of grounded and basically deserving of her attention and eventual love. And most guys be butthurt by this. Most guys be like, why she gotta be so bitchy? Why she gotta be this, that, and just can't she be nice? You start insulting all these bitchy girls and you start saying all these like semi-nice girls are super nice. But you gotta see the world from a girl's perspective. You gotta develop this kind of empathy for the world, because you're just thinking about the world from your horny ass perspective. If you think of it from a girl's perspective, she, genuinely speaking, is weak physically compared to everyone in the club except other girls. And one mother freaking psycho could just start doing shit, just like hitting her. Like, of course we don't expect this to happen. She needs to see if you are a legit guy that's worth her time. And how's she gonna do that? Between guys, we just straight talk, right? You're full of shit, dude. Or we might even fight and have it out and find out. But with girls, they have to like pick up these subtle cues that tell her whether you're a legit person that's deserving of her love. So they will always test you. Let's say you made a lot of money and had a big success in your business, and they might be like, oh, that's great, but did you pick up the milk on your way home? And you're like, oh, I forgot the milk, but I just made $1 million. We can buy a dairy farm. But she's like, I asked you to pick up the milk. What the hell is going on? Most guys would be like, why is she being like this? Why is she so unreasonable? But as David Data says, which is, by the way, one of the greatest books on masculinity, if you want to get deep into this, I suggest you read this book. And this very example is actually from that book. And he says, imagine if he actually doesn't fold in that moment of testing and just go into like, why is she this way? Why doesn't she understand? But he reacts in love, and he picks her up, spins her around, kisses her on the neck, and he's nuzzling his face into her, and he's like, I'm gonna go get it right now, come with me. I don't know how the thing goes, but you get the idea. And she kind of melts in your arms because you have the humor but also the love to dissolve the tension and not be affected by that little testing. And this is one of the biggest things that you learn as a guy, that a woman's testing will not end. It's not like, oh, I've proven myself, so it's all over. She will constantly test you. She will constantly test your edge. She will constantly know how to piss you off more than anyone else in the freaking world. And she will just hit on it. And it's always so that you can respond in that grounded masculine way. Next point, when you can lead, okay, a woman, a girl, to various experiences, various places, various emotions, then it's like she has spent a week with you when you just spent one day. You have this magical superpower. How cool is that? There's actually a psychological thing that happens. Let's say you go like hiking in like the Swiss mountains or something, but over just like 3 days, you travel to like all these mini villages, because you're walking, you hit this village, that village, and each village has different like kinds of houses, kinds of like wood, and different kind of nature, different sky, different temperature. And after 3 days, you feel like you spent like a month, because you talk with your friends like, you remember what happened? Like, oh wait, was that only Tuesday? That feels like 3 weeks ago. You've had that experience, right? So that's what happens psychologically when you lead them to all these different experiences. I'm not saying, go to 7 different villages with a girl, but if you can like show her places, lead her to different venues, this is a really good way to build this kind of connection between you two. It just means that you have that essence of leadership where you know the direction in which things are going to go. And that kind of certainty is very comforting and attractive. Next, have you ever been in a lecture? Like some lecturers, they're just really, really good at lecturing, but it's like you're listening to them because the information is good. But then there are other lecturers who are like charismatic. We call them charismatic. And there's that X factor. There's a little bit more. And what it is emotion, certainty, and conviction. You may have even seen this in parts of this video where I get a little bit more animated and a little bit like facial expressions, like a little bit just more oomph behind it, right? And all of this is a superpower. If you practice this, by the way, I didn't always speak like this, and you definitely can become better at this by practicing it. And if you speak with conviction and certainty about anything, about positive things, even negative things, which by the way can be super attractive too. If a guy is like driving and he's always like, oh, what a wonderful day, it's so nice, what the hell? You cannot trust this guy that when shit comes to shove, he's gonna stand up for his woman, that he's gonna have the anger to defend her. Whereas women call like dicks and douchebags, what they actually mean is this guy's not afraid to show negative emotion. He's not scared of conflict. When conflicts arise that endanger us both, he's gonna be there to protect me. That's what it signals to her. So you need to be able to speak with that conviction certainty about both the positive and the negative. Next, let's say there was a war between Sparta and Athens. There's a loving couple. The man, he's gonna go to war. Imagine if he didn't go to war and he's like, more than defending my country, I just like really love you and you smell so nice. We can just cuddle and play with our babies. In the first couple of weeks, she might be like, thank God my man's not dying. I love him. This is what I want. But very soon she's gonna resent the guy. She's gonna be like, but you bitched out. Like, what if somebody like the Athenians come and try to attack this family? Are you gonna just be cuddling? Like, do you see? So when the warrior goes, she's sad, she's crying. She doesn't want him to go. She begs him not to go. But what happened? What's the first point? She respects the man that goes. That is the guy who has a purpose greater than her. If a guy is totally dedicated to his girl, which a girl always wants or says she wants, you just become that nice guy that just like caters to her every needs. Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so amazing, you're so pretty, oh my God, I just love how you move, how you eat, let me just spend whoa, needy. This kills attraction faster than everything and anything else in the world, right? So you don't want to do none of that. You want to have a passion and a purpose, whether it's your obsession with whatever it is that you do. Maybe your purpose in life is to coach the greatest sports teams, or maybe your purpose in life is to help underprivileged kids. Whatever it is that is it would really fulfill you to be you. You need to have that as number one, ironically enough, and try to find what lights the fire in you. But remember this idea that as a guy, your purpose should be number one priority and not the girl. Next, the final thing is to be yourself. It had to be there. It had to be there. Because this is one of the best and worst advice given to guys that want to improve in their attractiveness, confidence, in their dating chances with women. Be yourself in the sense of you're a fat, stinky, no hygiene, just an idiot with nothing going for himself, doing all the wrong things, and you're just in the worst place playing video games, just jerking off every day, and you stink and you got no hygiene, and no girls are actually liking you right now. Just be yourself, don't work. Okay, so you want to take some of these advice and improve yourself so that you become a more attractive person to the opposite sex, whether it's improving your looks, improving your body, your skin, improving your life situation by starting a business, providing value to the world, making money, whether it's by learning some of these psychological and important mechanics that we talked about. You want to be doing that. But then why am I saying as the final and perhaps the most important point to be yourself? In what sense does be yourself actually make sense? Every person has the authentic self. And if you see a baby generally, before it gets socialized, it's a lot of the things we talked about. The baby's just so in his element, so confident, so expressive, so certain, he just does things. And somewhere along the line, we get told that our self was not enough, that it's not deserving of love, that you're ugly, that girls don't like you, that whatever it is, we just get all these like experiences and things that tell us that we're not enough. So we lose our ability to be confident, our ability to speak with conviction, our ability to respect ourselves, to be strong. We lose all of this, even our protectiveness. So being yourself in this case is coming back to your real self. If you start to accept yourself and go into these traumas maybe that you had, and you start to develop the courage to express the real you, this is perhaps the best way to find someone who loves the real you, but also the best way to attract someone is through your authenticity. I hope this video helped. I know this is slightly different to my usual fitness videos. See you next week. Bye-bye.